news stories. So GitHub Copilot is a coding tool to help you code, and Microsoft has Copilot for Windows. So it's AI built into Windows and now apparently available to all Windows 11 users. So it would be interesting to try out. I haven't tried it yet, and I'm not really sure what you do with AI, but they can generate documents or images based on your prompts. So that might be interesting. Anyway, that's a thing to know. If you have Windows 11, you can try that out. San Francisco is the AI capital of the world. There are by far more AI jobs in San Francisco than anywhere else. In fact, we exceed the numbers 2 and 3 added together, the numbers 2 and 3 being Cupertino and Los Angeles. So we're in the hotbed of AI here. That's why I've been doing all this extra credit AI stuff. I highly recommend learning AI. It's the new thing, and I think it's going to be the hot thing for several years. It's not going to burn out and be discarded like cryptocurrency. This is the court order, which is a big deal, against the SolarWinds security officer, which is pretty gruesome. SolarWinds had this big hack where the Russians invaded the supply chain and poisoned the official update, and that was used to take over lots of American companies. But apparently, they're going to sue them and say they misled investors about their cybersecurity practices and known risks. And this is really going to shake the world of security officers, because if you can personally get prosecuted and personally go to jail for not being secure enough and misrepresenting your security, that will be another big risk to consider. And I must say, executives have to take risks. They have to allow certain risks. So it's going to mean you have a level of legal exposure, and it's not going to be very clear, and in many cases, whether you have really been secure enough and communicated about it well enough. I think this will make a lot of chief security officers very nervous, especially if he actually ends up going to jail. So an Android update is breaking Pixel phones. It breaks them very badly, where they get stuck in an endless boot loop and you can't do anything about it except wipe the phone back to factory defaults, losing all your data. So that's really rude. And Google has another update chasing the first one, but if you got the first one on there, it's already too late. So that's not good. Android phones are very vulnerable, and they get infected and hacked a lot because they don't put on updates. And if the updates are going to be like this, then people will be reluctant to put on the updates. So
it's happening very often on Android phones.
Is it? I haven't heard of other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, because once you have an older version of it, then when you go on the internet or something, they update some file and they cause the looping.
Oh, I didn't know other things.
It's very common.
Yeah. Well, that's really not good. And so China is going to put quantum technology in orbit. They're going to have satellites, and they are going to create, this is a form of quantum key distribution I haven't heard of before. They've tested this several times going across a large part of the Earth, as you can see. What they do is the satellite creates a pair of entangled photons and sends one to each of these ground locations. They're polarized, and exchange a stream of them, so that creates a private key that only these two endpoints know. And then they can securely communicate. This is a different form of private key distribution than what I found you can buy, say, from Cisco. You can buy a device that will send keys to the other end 1 bit at a time through single photons, so no one can intercept them without being detected. But that's generated at one side. Here they just create random bits and send those copies to both sides with quantum entanglement. So anyway, apparently it works. They've tested it in these large distances and shown that it works. It should be a new form of, it's basically a new form of, perhaps you can call it public key encryption, but there is no public key. It's a way to have a secure communication over an untrusted channel. It's a way to send a message to these two guys that nobody else will get. I think that's the idea. So you only one photon, and if Vienna receives it, you know nobody else received it because they would have destroyed it. So it's a pretty clever idea, and I guess they're going to have it. It's secure through the basic laws of quantum mechanics, not through mathematics. So Microsoft is releasing new Windows 11 virtual machines with like a 90-day trial, and you can extend it a few times. So I'll however, you don't get an ARM version, but you do get quite a few virtual machine versions. You get one with all the tools and one without all the tools, and you can get it in VMware, Parallels, VirtualBox, or Hyper-V. But they're all x86 only, so it's not an ARM version. But still, that's pretty handy, and probably be good for students who need a Windows machine to do the projects. So I'm going to stop this recording.